Oh, excuse me. Good morning, everyone. I'm filming on real time almost. This will be getting posted shortly. So it's Wednesday morning. Oops, that wee thingy's moved. It's Wednesday morning at 8:15, and I'm running slightly behind. I've been a bit off weather the last week, so I'm Max, go lie down, please. Go into mummy's bed. So the projects that I've got today, Max, move! The projects that I've got today are actually ones that I've just made over the last 2 days. For some reason, I thought I only had 4 made, so I made a 5th, and I didn't. I had 4. So instead of show me 5, you're going to get show me 6. So it's a wee bonus. So today we are using, and I've actually got about 1 million of these stamps out. In fact, there's only a few left in the box. And it's beautiful Promenade, or Promenade as we call it in the UK. My throat's a bit sore as well. Oh, my word, sorry about that. So it's a really, really pretty set. I've had a wee play with it previously and made a couple of cards, not many, because I actually only got it on Stampin' Up's 30th anniversary sale. This was one of the sets that I got, and it was really pretty. I really like the set. I love these flowers, love them. And the sentiments are beautiful. Praying that the difficult road leads you to a beautiful destination. You're stronger than most, and this is a wee innie for the inside of your card. But even the strong need a shoulder to lean on. I'm here for you. You're my everything. I'm here for you, friend. P.S. I love you. You're loved. We've got a wee frame and a few wee lines. Then we've got this little decor here. We've got the leaves. We have got 2 floral bouquets. So I haven't got the thinlits for it yet. It will be. No, it won't. Put it in the bin. It will be eventual, but oh my lord, I was just off topic slightly. The demonstrators got their PDF of the new spring summer catalogue and the celebrations flyer, and oh my lord, I'm looking around £360, and that's with my discount. Oh, it's scary, but hey ho. Anyway, so the colours in Petal Promenade, or Promenade as the UK call it, are Blushing Bride, Fresh Fig, Grapefruit Grove, Highland Heather, which I've not used actually, Mossy Meadow, Petal Pink, Sahara Sand, Smoky Slate, Tranquil Tide, Very Vanilla, and Whisper White. I've stuck with Whisper White today, but we have got this one, and predominantly it's Fresh Fig. This I used the Everyday Label Punch, but I managed to shorten it, and I'll maybe show you that technique actually, because it is really, really pretty, and especially for sentiments that aren't that big. If I had used the Praying for a Beautiful Destination, I would have needed the larger, but this one I could shorten. Sorry? Okay. Get your school uniform off and get into bed. Sorry? I don't care. Right, then we've got this flower, which I stamped both with Fresh Fig, but the inner what I did was I used my weak Wink of Stella pen, and when I say weak, it's maybe been refilled 3 or 4 times, so there's ever so slightly a little bit of sparkle, as you can see, but it's not by any means sparkly, and it washed out a little bit of the fig, so it's gave it a little tone. Love it. And then we've got the fresh fig ruffled ribbon trim. This I have coloured the rhinestones with Blackberry Bliss, so it's almost the right tone. Absolutely love it. So that's one. This one I did go a bit OTT with, and you can see I've actually distressed the label a bit. I've used some of the tonic, and I can't remember, I think it's platinum, but I stamped the leaves in the background to give me a background layer. I layered up some of the DSP with some Mossy Meadow just to give me a banner across it. I used one of the flower stamps, and I believe that's Grapefruit Grove. Again, I coloured it. Is it Grapefruit Grove? I'm sure it is actually. Yes. So it's Grapefruit Grove. I used a little bit of my Sakura Stardust pen just to go over the outlines. I used the leaf punch, and I used the platinum again for that. And I just liked the simplicity of it, and I loved that that's kind of mushy and just not perfect, because it shouldn't need to be perfect. Then we've got this one, and I really like this one actually. I used one of the edges from the DSP and fussy cut around so that I could get a decorative edge. I then used the flower stamp. I done the outline and the inside. I then went over it quite heavily with what was that, Berry Burst. I went over it quite heavily with that, and then I re-stamped with the Berry Burst for the inside. I don't know, there you are. So you can just see the lines and no more. But when I done that, the outline didn't look bold enough, so I let it dry, powdered it up, and then stamped the outside with VersaFine and added some silver embossing powder. For the leaves, I just put the leaves straight onto the card and heat embossed them with silver. I used a really faded wash with the Berry Burst just to give a bit of colour behind the flower, and the same with the sentiment. So this one is really quite non-dimensional. The only thing that's got a bit of dimension is the flowers are on one layer. So it's quite a nice card if you are in a hurry and you're posting it overseas, because it's not going to weigh a great deal. Then we've got this one. This one did take a little bit extra time, and it's a 2-inch square with a 2 1/4 inch white, whisper white behind it, and I made like a window frame with it. Then I went over with the polka dot tulle and tucked that in behind my Mossy Meadow layer. I then had little scraps left from the end of my ribbon, so what I've done is added that under my banner, which I stamped with the fresh fig, because there's little bits of fresh fig in the flowers, because I felt if I went with Blushing Bride or Petal Pink, it would have just disintegrated. You would never have seen it. So I'd opted for something different. Where the knot was, I have put a flower over the top of it. I stamped it with Blushing Bride, and then I went in with some Fresh Fig on a weak wink of Stella. And I've added just a few coloured rhinestones onto the top of it. And I think it's quite effective. It's not overly decorated, but I think it's enough, because that decorative paper is so busy that if you added a few flowers, it would just be, your eye wouldn't want to rest anywhere, it would just be all over the place. So keep it as simple as possible. This one, to be fair, is probably one of my favourites. We've got the Mossy Meadow background, we've got the DSP, and then I've put a layer of vellum over the centre. Okay, and I've got You're My Everything. If I bring that up, it is actually heat embossed with Mossy Meadow. So it does stand out a little. I was actually considering perhaps adding a layer of white and making it into a scallop or putting a circle. I'm not sure, but for the moment I've decided not to. For the flower, I stamped with Grapefruit Grove, then I done the inside with Grapefruit Grove. I scribbled, let me see if it's still up here. No, I don't know what I've done with it. Honestly, everything ends up everywhere when I'm working. I just end up throwing things all over the place. I can't find a thing that I actually need. No, don't know what I've done with it. But I scribbled it onto vellum, the dark Old Olive. Then I've used a tiny bit of gold stickles. And honestly, if you look at that, it is literally just enough for a highlight. There's not a great deal on it. And how I achieved that was using my dimensionals, wherever that's went to. They've grown legs as well. Oh, mama. Oh, they're all up there. I've just misplaced them. So, that was what I used. I scribbled on some Old Olive and then punched it out. And then what I did is I tucked my dimensionals underneath. I put a little bit of gold stickles onto my dimensionals non-stick area, and then I just literally lifted a little amount and kind of tapped it on, and it's gave, honestly, it's just so subtle. I love it. Then for the background of the flower, you can see there's two layers. What I've done with that is I actually coloured a scrap. I cut out one big enough to cover that flower, and I used one of my Nouveau embellishment mousses, and this one is actually called Coral Calypso, a reverse of ours, but it matches perfectly with the Grapefruit Grove. Absolutely perfect. And it's really subtle, it's not taking over the card. I then used my fine paintbrush, just a really fine tip, and added some little outside stamens just to give it a little bit of dimension. And that was it, really. There's nothing fancy to it. And if I find the one that I was looking for, it's this one. So that one, as I was saying, this is like the outie, and inside you've got the, but even the strong need a shoulder to lean on. I'm here for you. So you've got the innie and outie. So for our next card, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Absolutely none. So you are winging it with me, people. We don't know where we're going to go, but hey ho. So got some of ZSP here. Quite like that subtle. See, that's a bit too clashy for me. I think the orange and the pink for me is just too bright. I like just the one. Even the soft peach is alright, but the actual darker orange is just too much for me. So I've actually not really used any of that. I love this one. The same one. I like them, but for a bit larger card, they're not really any use. This is the edge that I'm talking about that I cut for the edge of my other card. So that's that same one again. Then we've got the Fresh Fig coloured ones, and then this one. I think that's it, because I have used a fair bit of this. So let me think, what do I want to use? How about we use quite like that. That combination's quite nice. So I'm going to just hold those ones just now, and I'll pull out one of the full sheets just in case I decide I need another little bit. Put that in behind there. Oh, itchy nose, that's not a good sign. Right, let me fold my cardstock. And I can't find my bone folder either this morning. Honestly, it is literally the house that Jack built this morning. Jaden's had a full-on meltdown already this morning, which is why he's off school. Because if I send him into school when he's in that heightened anxiety, he will just absolutely kick off in there today. And I would end up with a phone call to come and get him. So it's just pointless. I've just kept him off and we'll deal with it. So if I put that layer down, then we have maybe a block of that, then a block of the mossy meadow, then have a strip of this. In fact, I think I might want a wee block of that. Yeah. Right, so let's get cracking. This layer I'm cutting down to my usual bases, okay? So we'll start with that and we'll work on from there. Right, so I'll measure this up and then it means it's easier for you to see. So let me think. I think this should be at 10 anyway. It's not, so we'll take that down to 10. Go away a little bit. Come on, you're just being naughty. There we are. Right, so 10's away. Then I want it down to 14.3. And to be honest, this far away is a bit of a guess. So I'm taking that off. And then I will bring in my little trimmer, because the edges of this seem to be getting a bit furry now. But the blade actually hasn't been in that long, and I'm not putting another blade in it yet. So I just take a little slither off with my guillotine, and it just saves any hassle. So that's my card base done. Then we're going to layer that on there. Okay, so I'm going to get on and do that. I think I'll open my other tumble because I can't be bothered fighting today. Jaden, going into my bedroom and bring me in my bottle of Diet Pepsi. It's sitting beside my bed, please. So just a little amount. Okay. Thank you. Oh, no, not that. It's a Diet Cherry. Uh-huh. That one's for the bin, darling. Sorry. What? No. Just go and get me my drink, please. I just need to double check that none of my edges are showing there that I've pulled up, and they're not. Fantastic. So next up we need this, and I want to cut that down to, thank you. Oh, excuse me, I had to get a drink there. Oh, I was choking. Right, so going to put this layer down, and I want it basically the full length. So I'm going to put a little mark where I want to cut it. So I want to cut it about here. Okay. Oops. And then I want my Mossy Meadow to basically do the same but on the other way. So that's there. My Mossy Meadow's coming in this side, and I want that to be cut about there, and then I will deal with the other bit in a minute. Oh, I needed that wee drink there. My throat is absolutely killing me. I think it's with dealing with short stuff this morning. So there we go, that's the first layer done. Then the second layer, I have got my marking. I don't know if you'll be able to see it though. You can see the mark just there and no more. So I'm just lining that up and take it off. Okay. Put my guillotine underneath because I will need that again. Then we want to layer these on. So that's going on there. Then we'll have this one coming on at this side. Just let me manoeuvre that a wee bit. Might need to take another wee slither off of these, but we'll see. In fact, that seems okay. Don't want it to be loads and loads. So let's get that down. And most of my DSP I cut at least one sheet of it down to 6x6 because that's what I predominantly use most of, and I find that I don't have it as too precious. Jaden, can you please leave him alone and go into your room? Well, just leave him, he's alright. He can go into my bed. Then we'll have this one at that side. So I'm just going to trim that down, glue that up. So I'm just giving it a ever so slight border there, because I don't want them exact. I just want to be able to see the background. Right, so that's that part done. Then we want this on. So I want to, let me just see, I want that about there and cut it about here, I think. So I'm going to cut that first and then I'll see what length I want it. So I'm just going to section that over to where I need it. And then I want this to be I need to move down a bit because I want it to have the same amount of border of green as I've got with the grey at the other side. Like that. So that's going to come in just about there. I really like that idea. Right, so let me just get that glued down. And I don't have any of these designed like this, so it's nice to have something different, I think. Right, so I want a little bit shown over there, a little bit shown there. Let me move it in a wee bit, that's it. Perfect. Right, then we need to do where topper and sentiment. That's our next port of call. Now let me see what sentiments I've put on the other ones because I don't want too many the same. So I've got pen, I've got two of those, I've got one I'm here for you and you're stronger than most. I think we'll go I'm here for you, friend. I think that's what will work best for this one. So I think I'm going to put it on with the grey colour. I think that will work really nicely if we are going to maybe put that down there. Yeah, I like that. So let me just find what I've done with that scrap of grey that I took away. Is that all I had actually? That I think it might be. So let me see if I've got any more. That one. I think it was that I put down. Anyway, so we'll take a bit of that for my sentiment, and that is going to be, let me see, this one, and I'm going to do it with Fresh Fig because it's a nice deep colour and it will stand out really well. And I think I might, no I won't. I was going to say I might clear heat and both it, but I think that's a bit pointless. I don't think we'll see the benefit of it. So I'm just thinking it up. And as you can see, I've got 3 stamps on this. I've got my big flower, the other inside of the flower, and my sentiment. But it works absolutely fine. So I'm just pressing it down there. Give it a minute for the ink to transfer. And up. Perfect. Give my stamp a wee clean. And dry. Ready for the next one. Right, and then we need to trim this out. And I think I'm mounting that on a little bit of fresh fig as well, just to tie in the background bit. Because I think that will work nicely as well. So let me just get that in. I think I've knocked it for some reason. Sorry if I've been knocking you about. It's not intentional, I promise. So I'm just lining it up to 3/4 of an inch. And then I will cut that. Take it down to 2 3/4. That back there and that there. I've got a little scrap of the fresh fig here, so I'm going to do that at 1 and at 3, and that gives me 1/4 of an inch border around the whole thing, so it's not going to be over the top. Like that. And I can trim that down again if I have to. If I feel when I go to put it on the card it's too much, I can just take another wee slither off. Make sure that's glued up enough. So with Jaden having a meltdown mode, I have banned him from his phone and his PlayStation because it was just unbelievable this morning. I can deal with the aggravation that he goes through, but when he starts screaming at me, not having that at all. And I'm not trimming that down. That is absolutely ideal. So I'm going to pop it up on dimensionals. 1, I think we'll use 3, 1 at either end and 1 in the middle. And I'm so excited. I've got an order due. I'm hoping it gets shipped today because it's been placed from last, is it Friday I ordered it? I think it was Friday morning, like early hours Friday I ordered it. I love that. Right, now do I actually want to add anything major on there? So let me see. I have got a few flowers already cut, so I'll have a wee look at them and see. I've got one that's quite dark. And then I've got a tiny one. Oh, come on, you. That I could probably, so if I pop that up there, I could probably add that there. And then just have some leaves behind it. That looks okay, doesn't it? So let's do that. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's Rooted in Nature that I've ordered the bundle. What else did I order? I ordered quite a lot of the sweet actually because I'm going to be using it for my online class for December, which I am going to have to get my button gear, to be honest, because I was hoping if I had placed it, it was going to be here tomorrow, but that's not going to happen now. So I am going to have to work my butt off over the next few days to catch up on my own YouTube and blog to get ahead of myself, so that when my order does arrive, I have got time to put my class together. Right, so we've got that. Then I think I'll just do a few, will I? Let me see what I've got there. Let me move this. Oh, that's another one actually I could have used. Didn't realise I had brought one. I've been sorting out all my cards because I've got a few craft fairs coming up after the holidays. So I need to get them into some sort of order as well. Let me go to the back because I'm sure that's where these are. I do want a little bit of that, I think. That's not going to work. The silver might. So I'll maybe take a wee bit of silver and a wee bit of that to see. And I've got some pink here somewhere. I had a little scrap of pink sitting somewhere. Don't know what I've done with that. Nope, don't know what I've done with it, so I'll need to get another wee slither of pink out and see what works best for this. So I'm going to use the Sprig Punch. I absolutely love this. I think it works so well. So I'm just going to pop out a few of these. One, I'll do 3 of each colour, and then it means I've got plenty to play with if I decide I like them. Move that over a wee touch. That's 3 of the pink done. Put that back in its wee slip. It's just handy to have these wee slips because they just, it means you're not wasting anything. Right, let me just grab this and one, two. I won't get a third out of that one. So take this and I'll get a third one out of that. 3. Put them back in. And you can see I just go with what I think. I don't follow any set lead. So there's 1. Turn it. 2. I'm going to trim that wee part off so I can get a third one out of it. My glimmer paper's too precious to be wasting. Right, so that's us got 3 out of it. I'll bin that little bit. Right, so bin with that. Right, now we need to see what works best under these colours. So, put my punch back over there. Right, so, let me see. Silver. I'm going to actually look at it on the camera overhead so I can get a proper feel for it. Silver's not right. Let me see the pink, because there is pink in it. Although this is Blush and Bride and I don't have Blush and Bride on the flower, but it is in the background, so that might work. That's quite pretty actually. Let me see, maybe layer it with the white. Yep, that's it. That's one. So I'm going to add a little spot of glue onto both of them. Place that over there. And then we want to get it to go under. Not too far, just enough. About there. That's quite pretty. Now, let me see the other side, see if I need them over there, or whether the ones are okay. Let me just layer them up like that. No, ones are fine. So, we've got that. Then I've got a wee few rhinestones that I'm just going to add, just as a finishing touch. So these have already been coloured with the Blackberry Bliss Stampin' Blends. Okay, so I'm going to actually add them on to the wee flower, I think. That's where it will work best. Come on, you away from there. That's it. That glue is beggar. I think I'm going to add a third flower on there, because that glue will really annoy me if it seeps through. And I do have another flower that I stamped. I just need to find it. That's here. So I'm only cutting the flower, I'm not cutting out the foliage because it would be horrific. So I'm just going to do the flower alone, and this will add a really nice continuity to it. And this is for an advanced crafter doing this. Any level of crafter can follow my videos because I do them so simply and make sure that every level of crafter can follow. Although there's plenty of elements, it's not unachievable, I promise you. And if you do want to follow one of my videos and you run into problems, drop me an email. I will be more than happy to talk you through any of the problems that you're having. Right, so this I need to get underneath a wee bit because I want that to be shaped under there, like that. And I'm going to take that and position it there. Perfect. So that's our 6th card, okay, because as I said, I had already made 5 previously. So we've got this one, we've got that, we've got this one, that one there, we've got this, and that. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Please do check my blog. I will have walkthrough step-by-step instructions on how to achieve all of these cards. It will probably be tonight before I've got it up, but they will be there, I promise. But honestly, it's so simple. All my cards are very achievable. I make sure that when I'm making them, that's in the back of my mind. But I quite like that layout where it's kind of stretched at different angles. It's just quite different. And you can add extra bling, you can add extra Winka Stella, you could add your, in fact, you know what, I actually might add a little bit of the spritzer. So this one is the champagne mist. I'm just going to take it off to the side because I have got 1,000,001 things in front of me here. And I will just spritz it. Okay, so I'm going to actually open the card so that my finger's inside and I'm not blocking any of the pattern. And I have shook my spritz up really well. And then just you can see it all sparkling now. And that was 2 spritzes. It's just stunning. Love it. So you can do plenty with it. So I hope that's gave you a bit of inspiration, and I hope that you go out and get that stamp set. It is fantastic, and it's a really, really good one to have in your arsenal, because the sentiments you're going to use year after year after year. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye for now.